All right, so we're talking about binding off, right? We're talking about whether we're going to bind off. Jody's done short rows. We're having this discussion about whether we're going to bind off with do short row bind offs. Jody, you bound off. You did short rows because you don't like the stair steps. You know, I'm pretty sure I have a video on YouTube. Maybe I know that it's in the toolbox in the club on how to do a smoothed bind off.
Yep.
But it's not a big deal if you have
No.
a little stair step bind off, you know. You just need to know that when you're seaming that, you're going to angle your needle up.
Right. Yeah, I just didn't want to have to deal with finding that spot.
It looks beautiful.
Thank
It
you.
is so beautiful.
And I did find, I don't know if anybody still wants to see it. I found my steeked sweater that hasn't been cut yet.
Yeah. I don't think Donna's on. She was the one who was particularly interested. Great. Yes. Look
Wow.
at that.
Beautiful.
So
She's on.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't have her picture on.
Okay.
So
Donna,
there's
those stitches in the middle are your steek.
Mhm.
so that's where I'm going to end up cutting. And there's a tiny bit of those stitches down at the bottom too, because there's color work at the bottom.
Nice.
So anyway, just thought I would make sure I showed that. In
It
case
looks great, Jody. Thank you.
Thanks.
So if you wanted to do the short row thing for your shoulders, what you're going to do is when your pattern calls for you to bind off at the beginning of a row, the short row shoulder starts the prior row. So on the row before where you would bind off on the next row, you're going to work up to the number of stitches that you would have bound off. Work your German short, your German turn, and then come back and then do the same thing. So you're working 5 stitches fewer and turning rather than turning and binding off and continuing across. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I first learned short rows really early in my knitting career for exactly that reason. I didn't know how to do a shoulder seam, and it seemed like nobody who was teaching anything knew how to either. So there it is. Is everybody doing good?
Looks like Donna's running for the hills.
Uh-oh, short row discussion.
No, I'm not running. I'm outside and it's dark.
You know, I was looking at driving home today. I was coming back from Annapolis, and it was 5 o'clock, and I was thinking, wow, it's not dark. Yay.
We're changing time pretty soon.
When?
Second or third week in March.
No.
Wow.
The 9th of March.
Yeah.
Is that right? All right.
Yeah, that's why I had myself videoed off and unmuted so that y'all didn't have to look at me trying to get out of the car.
Okay.
But did you see Jody's steek?
Yes, I did. I was at
Okay,
a
good.
stoplight. Yeah, that's still terrifying, but you know.
Does anybody want to show where they are and brag a little? Would love to see it.
Well,
Come
I'm
on, Lana.
not that far, but I'm very proud of myself because
Okay, hang on, let's see.
I never thought I could do this.
You are doing
Pretty.
great.
That looks
And
so
I
nice,
haven't been
Trish.
able to do the floaters like everybody else has been able to do them. I'm doing them with my fingers.
That's
But
okay.
they come out pretty good. So I'm happy with it.
Congratulations, Trisha. It's great.
I've never done continental knitting and I'm very uncomfortable doing it.
and I'm forcing myself into doing continental knitting and purling. So rather than dropping the yarn. So I've been struggling, but can't really see.
It's
There's the
Oh, it looks
pretty.
beautiful.
thanks, but I'm
So
I'm
pretty.
struggling. I do not find it easy. My hands cramping up, but I'm taking your advice, Ellen, and sticking with it and trying my best.
You've
That's
gotten a
all we can
lot
ask.
done.
What about other people? Show.
Well, I'm finally started.
Yay.
Good for you.
Me too. I'm not as far as Susie, but I finally.
I am just slower than molasses in the winter.
Holly, did you want to show yours? Good job.
Oh,
Yes.
pretty colors.
Yeah.
That looks nice.
It is nice.
Did you highlight her?
Nice. Beautiful.
Holly is
Nice, that's
highlighted.
nice.
I don't see her. I don't see anybody showing their work.
Well, she was showing her
Yeah,
work.
we don't know
Yeah,
how to
Polly's
fix you.
showing it.
We can see both Susie and Polly.
Yes, you can see Susie and Polly.
And
Now show.
Denise had hers up.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I can only spotlight. Well, I guess I can show. Let's see. I can see. All right. So I can.
There.
So I'm ready for my bind off stitches.
Nice.
That looks
really
really
Oh,
nice.
that's
wow,
great.
pretty. Gosh.
That's a really
Wow.
pretty gradient.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty.
I think it's the amethyst colorway.
That's beautiful.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Noro or what is it?
Yes, it's felted tweed color in amethyst.
That's
Beautiful.
pretty.
The
That was a
rowing
neat
yarn.
idea.
It's a row.
Yeah,
It's the
so you can
same
see
exact yarn in a gradient.
Yeah, you can see the gradient here.
That's
Oh, I see. I
beautiful.
liked the green
Cool.
gradient. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Are you going to match the arms with that?
Yes, as best I can.
Yeah. That's all you can
It'll
do.
obviously, yeah.
I think their gradient is a little easier to work with than say Noro. This is a more gentle gradient.
I didn't know they had a gradient.
It's their only one.
How many stitches are you all using, going maximum for your floats? Because I'm looking at the back of mine now. And when I go 3 stitches, sometimes I'm just worried that it won't be snaggy, but I'm worried about tension. I mean, I'm not going to go back, but I'm like going forward. I wonder if I should catch them.
3 is fine.
Hmm?
3 is fine.
That's what I'm doing, 3.
Blocks out.
I've gone to 4. But I
Yeah.
guess I should go to 3.
No,
Sometimes
no,
I even do
no.
5, but Jow does every one, right? Or every 2?
I started every other, so
Every
knit
other.
one, catch one. But then I did that for the first pattern. And then after that, I'm now doing 2. But when I do my sleeves, I think I'm going to do every other just to make sure I don't catch anything, towards the end of my sleeve where it will narrow a little. But
I feel that the felted tweed is felty enough to where we won't
Yeah.
have any problems.
It's
yeah,
grabby.
it's easy enough,
How
right?
far do you go, Denise?
I do have one area here where I had boo-booed,
Uh-huh.
where I had done a whole bunch in my contrast color. So later on, I'll probably go in there and stitch that in with some thread.
You might be able to take a crochet hook and just pull it down through some stitches and it'll be fine.
Yeah, maybe that's the only one I'm worried about. But I do every 3rd stitch. So yeah, so this is pretty much every 3rd stitch,
Whoa.
except for the beginning, where I was doing every 4th stitch, and you can see quite a bit of difference there.
And that's where I'm noticing that sometimes when there are only 3 stitches in one color, I'm telling myself it's okay. And now I'm looking and seeing that I'm not catching it on the 3rd stitch. I'm catching it on the 4th stitch. So thank you very much. I think I'll go back and going forward, because this is all down to the bottom. People aren't going to, I'm just worried about tension. So thanks.
I still catch it on that 3rd stitch if there's only 3 colors. in that 3 stitches in that color.
Well, plus I read you're not supposed to do it on top of each other
Correct.
on the rows.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
you're supposed to stagger.
Mhm.
What happens if you catch it on top of one another?
They pull through. You can see them on the front side a
Yeah.
little bit more.
That's the
Yeah.
concept.
It doesn't happen all the time, and the felted tweed's sticky enough that it doesn't
Mhm.
really show.
Yeah,
Plus,
I've done
there's
it.
tweed.
Yeah, I've done it with hats before, and it makes almost a bit of a line
Yeah,
in your
it
work.
does.
Yeah.
Who is talking?
I got to an end of a row, so I
Keisha.
can show mine now.
Oh, it's Keisha.
Oh,
Erica,
I have to
let's
turn off the
Erica.
blur. Yeah, let me turn off my blur because I'm knitting in bed tonight.
no one would know
Ooh,
that.
wow.
Pretty.
That looks
Yeah.
amazing.
Is that
My
gray?
my kids.
Light
No,
It's
it's
purple?
it's the light. It's that kind of like that brick red.
Okay.
Oh.
And what's the contrast? Is it gray?
And it was that light purple pink one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so yeah, the
Very
light in here is not
pretty.
great, but
Oh, but pretty. Wow.
Very
yeah.
nice.
So yeah, my kids had flu, so I'm
Oh,
a little
Ooh,
behind.
Oh,
and
I'm
you will
so
too
sorry.
soon.
Actually, I'm hoping I already had it.
Okay, good.
So I've got 4 kids, and so I'm hoping we're like through it. We'll see.
Yeah, good luck.
I get the grandkids next weekend, so I'll be sick the week after.
yeah, you will.
Erica, is that barn red by any chance?
You know, that's a good question. Let me see. We got the band right here.
That looks like barn red, and if it is, that's a gorgeous color.
This is barn red. It's really more brown. It's like a very warm brown.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Barn red is.
186.
Yes.
I don't know if it is in felted
Okay,
tweed. I
Polly,
don't know
hold
the
yours up
number.
again. Oh, you just pinned her and then.
It's
Oh,
kind of like
yeah.
a maroon.
Nice.
Yeah.
It reads here just like a brown, but a very nice warm brown.
Yeah,
And
it's
your
a good
contrast is a
color.
beige or
At the camel that's
camel.
in
Yep.
the model
Yeah. So
sample.
yeah, my contrast is 185. Is that the right number?
Yeah, I think I'm
Um,
106. I don't know where I put it.
and then my main is 186.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let me see. I wrote it down.
Have you ever seen that French woman named Chloe something on YouTube? I was watching her and she doesn't catch her floats at all.
196. I'm on 196, and that's what the barn red is.
I
196.
thought. Yeah, mine says 186. Yeah. So yeah, this one, I don't even know what the name of this colorway was. Remember?
Maybe it's tawny.
That sounds familiar.
Somebody was
not
saying, someone doesn't catch their floats. Was that on YouTube?
Yeah, it's a woman named Claudia. Here, I'll look it up. I was watching her just.
Someone I know doesn't catch their floats.
She was saying that she thinks it's a cleaner look on the front. And she was showing a comparison. And I thought that's
Is she a
interesting.
Fair Isle knitter?
Yes.
So there are
It's
rules for
Clo
Fair Isle.
Knits, CLO Knits. And when she says her name is Claudia and she has an accent and it sounds kind of French.
So when you are doing true Fair Isle, there are rules for Fair Isle, and there's no more than 3 stitches in one color in a row.
Well, she had
You
5
don't
that she
have to.
crosses over.
But does she ever do more than 5, or it's like whatever? Like you couldn't not catch your floats on this
Yeah,
if
if you
did
have like 9,
12
like we do.
stitches. Yeah,
Yeah.
or more.
She twists it, and then there's this Armenian thing where they twist it in the back. They twist the skeins, but they don't knit it to catch the floats.
Yeah, the Tanis Gray does that. Who took the class at the shop with Tanis Gray? Keisha, did you take that?
The most recent one?
No, she did one a few years ago. Trisha, you didn't take that one? God, who took that?
The one that I took with her, she did like the
Here.
dip down method where she dipped
Okay,
down and
that.
picked it up.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah. So you leave your, like with whatever row you're working on, you leave your long floats. Then when you circle back around, then you're actually on the following row, you dip down, like with your working needle, you dip down, you pick up the float, and then you knit with your color that you're supposed to knit with.
Yeah,
So
I
either
saw
way,
that too.
either way, you've got it as if it were the contrast color that's being caught. So it lives on top of
Uh-huh.
your.
Right.
Yeah, I have one here where I did do that dip down. I don't know if you could see the difference in the work right here where my pinky is.
What
There's
was
like
your
one where
impression-
like
What was your impression of the differences?
I did take Tanis's class back in 22, or was it 20?
Yeah.
Was it before COVID?
It was before
It was
COVID.
before COVID.
Yeah. And we did I only do the dip down method when I forget to catch my floats. And I've done it like 4 times in here, and that's the only one I could notice. That's the only one that looks different on the inside.
Interesting.
I
But
thought if you did it consistently, then it would still all look the same. Whatever
yeah,
method you choose.
yeah. But I don't know. I like Ellen's method. So I've finally gotten into a flow with it, a rhythm, and it's
Yeah.
working really well for me.
Good.
Well, I was taking, I took the Rowan class back in December. It was with the snowflower scarf using snowflake tweed. And so Carrie, I don't remember her last name, but she was with Rowan Connect who did the class.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
She said to let it, you can let it go as long as you want to. I mean, but of course we were knitting at it on the inside, but she said even 10 floats because it catches it. So, and then she was also talking about how it does change it if you do too many catches.
Mm.
So she recommended like 5. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing 5. I'm not doing any more than 5.
Do you
I
like
like
it?
I think it's turning out nicely. This is the back.
Oh yeah. That looks pretty.
Seems like it'll be. I won't be catching my hand, my fingers, and
Yeah, I
anything.
don't think you will.
Mm-hmm.
That looks so beautiful, then.
Yeah.
So you'll have 5 plain stitches before you catch, or will you have 4 plain stitches
There
before you
are
catch?
a lot of just 5s, as you notice in the pattern. So I don't bother doing anything with those. I
Yeah.
go right through. I'll catch it when it's 9. So I'll knit 4, catch the 5th one, and then let 4.
Yeah. I've been doing 4, and I've been happy with that. But 5, from what I've read, but not that it's right, an inch is fine. You don't have to catch in an inch, which 5 stitches is not an inch in this.
Yeah. Here,
No.
also said
So
before-
my issue is trying to keep the tension because I have my strand, it's doing pretty well for 2 or 3 stitches, but then on the 3rd one, it's kind of baggy and I'm concerned down the road, but maybe because the felted tweed is kind of grabby, it'll be
It is
okay.
grabby.
It is.
I mean, I'm not going to go back and redo, but I'm trying to figure out what's the best way going forward. There's a certain advantage to being the laggard because you get to hear all the options.
She suggested when you're switching colors just to give it a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. So that was new to me.
Yeah, on the right-hand side of your needle. Just make sure to stretch it.
And I've been doing that, but I might have been a little overstretchy because what happens is when I'm looking at my fabric on the wrong side, it doesn't look really nice. It looks kind of droopy in places. Because my problem had been before when I was only knitting circular, knitting in the round with stranded knitting, I was too tight.
That makes sense.
Polly, I didn't know that that was actually a thing. I just did it. I was doing it anyway. Like I've been stretching mine generously. I mean, and this is what, oh man, blur. Sorry. Okay, there we go. This is what my background looks like. Like, I don't know if you can kind of
That
see.
looks
That
great.
looks
Well, the back-
Yeah,
wonderful.
looks nice.
So, and
I
that's
mean,
like
you
with
can
like
really
the, like
see
I said,
the-
that's with generous stretching as I do
Yeah.
the, especially like over that like 9 or the 13.
Uh-huh,
Like
yeah.
that is like stretching it out on my needle like as far as I
Oh.
can. And so, I mean, it's not too like textured. Like I don't know, it kind of all worked out. And I normally, when I knit, I get gauged normally, so I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, I usually, when I'm knitting not stranded,
Yeah.
I have a looser gauge. I usually have to go down needle sizes when I'm trying to get gauge, but I didn't when I did my swatch.
I have to go up.
One of the things I'm finding, like this is the biggest piece I've done of like 2-color, is it's a lot more like a woven fabric than like a knit. Like there's some stretch, but it's not super stretchy.
Yeah.
Which has been interesting.
Lena,
Yes.
who were you talking about? My headset died.
Oh,
That-
this was the lady who was teaching the class with Rowan. So
Okay.
Rowan Connect had the snowflake or snowflower scarf.
Was it Carrie Timber?
Yes, it was a 10 motif scarf. Martin Story designed it. So every week they would release a new motif. So there were 10 motifs in total. And she was Carrie. I forgot the last name.
Yeah.
She was,
That's what-
Timber.
yeah, she's wonderful. She was
She's
so
lovely.
Mm-hmm.
It is funny how so many people do it differently and it all works out.
Carrie is a Brit, and she is definitely a thrower.
Okay.
She is a thrower, but she was showing us all how to pick too, which was great.
Yeah, for sure.
The options, yeah.
Mhm.
So a lot of you are on the front already, or have finished the front.
A lot of us? No.
A few of you.
No, yeah. Several.
Jody is on the front.
Just one, right?
I've finished one front. I just started the second front.
Wow.
Goodness, you knit fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had a good weekend of knitting. That's the one front flew. I mean, it was 2.5 days worth of work.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Flew.
Huh.
So
So is anyone timing themselves on how long it took to do one row?
15 minutes.
Hmm?
15 minutes at the start, because you don't have any memory of the stitch or the pattern. It already, I'm just starting row 10, is already getting a little bit quicker. But yeah, to start out of the gate, and that's not counting all the tinking for when you
Right.
find a mistake.
Yeah.
Backwards.
Yes.
Polly, are you doing two hands?
Yes.
Good for you.
Well, it's pretty entertaining to watch it in action.
I can do it, but I'd be dead. They'd have to bury me with this by the time I finished it.
Well, Ellen, can I ask clarification on the binding off stitches? So
Yes.
if the last stitch on my hook is stitch number 9, then I've only cast off 8 stitches. Is that correct?
Say that again.
So on my work here,
Yes,
the
if the stitch on your right hand needle is stitch number 9, then you've bound off 8 stitches.
so I need to bind off one more to have bound off 9.
Correct. And you can count and see in that last.
Yeah.
is
So
bound
I
off.
have 8 stitches up here, but but this is number 9.
Correct.
So I need to bind it off to have 9 bound off.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I watched your video before you said that you had, before you got it on the on here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah,
The toolbox.
so much more sense.
It seems like such a simple thing, but it definitely is something that you know, we all sort of struggle with, I think.
Especially when you're doing it on a group like this and everybody's talking and giving numbers on how many stitches we've caught or not caught.
I think I am going to do when I get to where I do the shoulder bind off, I'm going to do all of that in my background color. Just so that it's so that it makes my life easy. I don't think it's any better or any worse. It's just, for me, it's not worth that, the hassle. I mean, those of you who love the color work and you just want to take it to the very last drop, you do you. Go. I applaud you. Jody, I applaud you.
Yes, Jody, we are not worthy.
Yes, you are. There was a
So you're
point where
gonna
I was
work
like,
all the way across in your darker color.
And
And
all
then
the way
bind off.
And then
And
I'm
all
going
the
to
way
bind
back.
off. Yeah, I'm going to, all that bind off section, I'm just going to drop my contrast color when I start my bind offs.
I wish
So-
I
So I
had
have
done
like,
that
I have 6
You're gonna
rows
have
of
9
that.
rows in all blue, in all the background color.
Correct.
I know, okay.
so I continued the
It's not
pattern.
even an inch. It's not even an inch, right? Well,
I have-
what
Right.
is,
I have 6 bind off rows. Is
okay.
that right?
Depending on your size, but
That's right. Every size is different. Okay.
So I continued the pattern into the V-neck as well. Not completely. There were some places I elected to not.
oh, wait, can I ask, how did you handle the decreases with the V-neck? What did you do? Did you carry,
Second stitch.
but did you do just one color or kept it in how did you do it?
So I kept the edge basically in my background color,
Right?
but I did bring the patterning over.
Can you
Oops.
bring it closer? Hold on.
Let me spotlight her. Hang on.
Thank
And
you.
the problem is it curls, so it's hard to see.
Yeah, can you uncurl it?
Well, that's what I was trying to do.
Thank you.
I've got it up against my sweater that I'm wearing, so you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So the decrease stitch you did in pattern, or did you?
The decrease stitch I did mostly in the background color. The edge stitch always in the background. color.
Yeah, that you don't even see. But the
Right.
decrease stitch you did in the background color.
Mostly, yeah.
Why mostly and not totally?
Because there was one place that I decided I wanted to play with the placement of the decrease. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. And I actually reversed my stitches so that I'm not going to find it. So that my contrast laid on top of, I can't find it, which is a good sign. Here, is it here?
Does it tell you what type of a decrease to do, or you do your own decrease?
It does not.
You're going to want to do the decrease that leans in the direction of the shape.
Right.
So on my left front, I did knit 2 togethers because I wanted them to slant up toward the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot find the one that here. I think it's this one right here. This stitch, I overlapped. I reversed the order of the stitches, but still did it as a knit 2 together. I don't know if you can see that.
Can you explain that a little bit more?
So
You remounted.
yeah. So
There are your 2
instead
V's.
of, I'm not gonna be able to do this in my hand with my
So you
hands.
had the 2 V's and then you went like that with them?
Instead of doing my 2 V's like that,
Uh-huh.
I took this stitch and put it over top and still knit in the same direction. So my rightmost stitch of the knit 2 together was sitting on top of
I
the
got it.
left stitch. So, but it still leaned to the right. I
Right.
just changed the order of the stitch count so that the one I wanted to show upward, in other words, the contrast color, was sitting on top. And it still leans in the same direction as everything else. It was a little fiddly just trying to get it to lay right. I think that's the one I did it on. But most of the time, and it was just because I was being a little anal, I wanted that part of the pattern to show. So I fiddled with it till it laid right.
And what do other people plan on doing with the decreases?
I have no idea.
When I get to that
I'm
bridge,
with
I'll
Keisha.
cross it.
What are you saying, Trisha?
When I get to that bridge, I'll cross it.
I have a question for either Jody or Ellen. So I followed the pattern for the back and the decreased. And I mostly did, and I just did the end rows in the main color. Would it be, do you think I could, I wish I had done what Ellen's going to do, which is using all the main
You mean
color.
for the bind offs?
Yeah, for the bind offs. I wish I had done that. Do you think I could still do it for the fronts? Or
Sure.
do I-
Yes.
No reason
Absolutely.
not. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do that because it was a struggle.
Agreed.
Yes.
Mhm.
I still have 3 rows in my chart. So I'm going to do 3 rows and finish that chart. And then I think I'll go to all solid color.
Yeah.
There's just something OCD about stopping 3 rows before my chart ends, even though my
Yeah.
hair is going to cover it up most of the time.
I think that's why I continued the pattern up, because I was at a point where I was like 1 or 2 rows in, and then with the short rows, I was able to complete one section. So once I was close enough to the end of that little motif, I continued it. But if I didn't start a new motif in that stair step.
Good. Yes, I
So
see what you're saying.
yeah.
And again, I know that Trisha was being really flip about it, but it's exactly what Jody is saying. You're going to have to do what feels right at the time based on how many motif repeats you have and where you are when your bind off start and all of that kind of stuff. You just, like I was messing with the increase. What am I going to do? Here's what I think I'm going to do. And then when I get there, I'm like, oh, beans, that is not what I'm going to be doing. I don't actually like that. I think we have to be a little more go with the flow.
And that's the way I was with it. I mean, if it felt right, and it was kind of organically decided when I got to it.
Right. And that's great. That's wonderful. But if you wanted to start not doing your motif with the bind off, I think if you just stopped, that would be completely fine. No one's going to see it or worry about it.
I'm playing a bit of yarn chicken. I've got, I think, 2 centimeters left before decreases, and like this much left on one skein. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to start a new one right before decreases. Like,
For bind
Neat.
offs?
Wet
yeah,
felted.
the bind off for like the back.
That's
Like,
okay. Bind offs
but it's
keep
just
your yarn in place really, really well.
well, I've got like 2 more centimeters before I can start on the shoulder slope.
Yeah.
You can spit splice the yarn. You don't have to have ends.
Actually, I've been like, okay, well, I'm in the middle of a row here, but I've been weaving in my ends, like on the back, on the floats, and like you can't even
No,
like
you're
see
right.
them because they're just like felting in. So I've just been I actually took a crochet hook earlier and just wove them through the floats, and yeah, you can't even tell where they're at. Like,
Ellen, did you get any more books in the store yet?
Not yet. They
Okay.
are-
Okay, no worries.
Yep. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'll need to stop by and maybe Xerox the next couple pages.
Yes. I don't even have one here.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, I think I'm gonna bag a little early. It was a long Monday,
Yeah.
so
So are you gonna start the sleeve? You think? Seriously?
so during the work week, I can't get as much knitting done, but it's not unusual for me to knit like 2 to 3 hours a day, even on a work day. So I'm not sure how many hours I put into the front this weekend. I'm not sure I'm going to get as far as this weekend showed in progress, but I might. Yeah, actually, I'll probably be into a sleeve by.
Oh, good, because those look daunting.
So yeah, I probably will cast on, at least get started in it. So
Yay.
yeah, well,
Yeah, you go first.
yeah,
Right.
I'll just dig in. I mean, I'll be knitting on something. I've got a baby blanket that I have to get working on. We've got a new grandbaby on the
Oh,
way.
Congratulations.
And
Congratulations.
well, there's
When
8
when is
June.
what's the date? June.
June.
Oh.
There's 8 grandbabies on my husband's side, and they're bookended. So we have a 13-year-old grandson, and we're having one cooking right now. So
That's great.
okay, well, while I have you here, do you think this is too orange as an edge for? So it's going to be edged with another color too. Just a tiny
love
bit of this and this on the outside edge, and that's the baby blanket.
I love it.
No, yeah, I think it looks great.
Great.
Love it.
And contrast is good for their eyes.
Yeah,
I like
Yeah.
the pop of bringing
I
the
wanted.
bright color in.
It's just
great.
going to have one garter ridge of the yellow, and then
Beautiful.
a little bit more of this. So
Yeah, you don't need a lot of the yellow, but it
Yeah.
really does bring it alive. It gives it the
Mhm.
energy.
so this is. It's one sock yarn.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
So easy peasy, all garter stitch.
Don't you love that? I love mitered squares.
And it looks like I did a whole lot more work than I did, because it's just straight through, just another square, another square, another square. So, but yellow was really hard to find. That was not too orange, not too gold, not too sunshiny.
Yeah, not fluorescent.
Yeah. So thank you
Yellow
for.
is my toddler's favorite color, and finding yellow things is, well, okay, they don't have to be like I know color's neutral, but like she likes girly things. And so finding yellow things that are girly, that's not construction trucks, is so hard.
Yeah. Sunflowers are probably one of the few things.
And daisies.
And daisies.
So she's into mermaids.
Of
That's
course.
hard.
They're totally opposite color schemes. Like,
Oh, wow.
but no, anything yellow. Like she's been looking at my yarn stash lately and going, just like tearful, like, Mama, you don't have any yellow. You need to buy yellow.
Aw.
That's too
I
cute.
told her when I get this done, I'll go visit Ellen's shop and see if I can find some yellow.
Bring her with you.
Yeah.
I'll bring her with, oh, she would love it.
Let
I
her touch
know.
the pretties.
Yeah. Get her addicted early.
Oh, she loves wool. I don't have the blanket up here. I would like knit with all my babies. I'd knit with them like on my lap.
Uh-huh.
She was colicky, but she would like grab with the skein and just fall asleep.
Oh.
And so I ended up knitting her when she was itty bitty, an alpaca blanket, or not knitting, crocheting one, so I can get it done fast. And she still has it. She's still like, anytime I'd put her in wool, didn't matter if it was the itchy kind or not, like smiles and happy and not colicky anymore. Like, I don't know. She just loves wool.
That's great.
That is nice.
You should totally take her to Ellen's shop. When my daughter was young, she'd go in and she's very tactile and she'd touch everything. And then we went to a yarn shop when we were out of town. Well, and she went to touch and the person was just like hovering all over her and afraid she was going to wreck everything and all that. So then a few months later, I said, "You want to come to the yarn shop with me?" And she looked at me and she said, the nice lady or the mean lady? So I never took her back to the mean lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time I went in, I had my 8-year-old with me, and she kind of just like wandered the whole store and just looked at all the things. She's like, "Mommy, are you done yet?" I'm like, "No, no, I'm not done yet." But okay, and then she'd do like another lap and just look at all the yarn.
She's a cutie.
Well, have a good week, ladies. We'll see you next week.
Bye,
Yes,
you
indeed.
too.
Have a good one.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Ellen, are you wearing your terrazzo sweater?
I am.
I am too.
Oh, I love it. Let's see. We'll put us both up here.
Here's mine.
That is so pretty. What is the yarn?
I used
Uh,
to go in.
the Silk Garden Sock Solo, and
Beautiful.
it's
That's
okay.
Yeah.
Did you have this
That's
S1?
the same one, S1. And then I used the cowgirl silk,
Oh, Cowgirl Blues.
cowgirl blues.
You got that. Did you get that from me?
I think so.
Yeah, because I had those as kits.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
Don't you love this sweater? I have 2 of them. I wear them all the time.
I love the collar. Sometimes I wear it up all the way. Sometimes I wear it this way. You know, you can wear it this way.
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then sometimes you can wear it inside.
Cool.
Ellen, I like the split neck on
I
the
like
one
that.
you're wearing.
That's pretty.
Thanks.
I like the red one that you have.
Thank you. That
Do
has
you
a
have those
big,
do you have that in the kit still or no?
yeah, I don't have that color anymore. So you know Nora
Okay.
doesn't use their colors all the time. Were you in the shop when I showed the swatch of the one color and all the different Kids cases with it?
Oh yeah, the blue one? No.
It's
No.
one color of Silk Garden sock, and then I had like 5 different colors of Kids Haze with the same base yarn.
Oh no, that's cool.
It really changed
Changes
things.
the look, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
pretty
really
neat to see
okay.
that on.
Yeah,
For something so tiny to have that impact. Yeah.
right. You don't think it's going to be such a big thing. I'm going to better record it. So since I made so little progress, my goal for the next week is to get through my shoulder bind off and to bind off my back. But you should have the chart that I sent you guys that shows where the right and the left front begin. Right? And I would put your chart together and make that work for you. I think everybody's right and left front starts at the same place, sort of in the center of those little 4 dot that kind of hits in the middle.
Yeah. You're right.
Everybody's starts there. And I think that's a good idea because then you do have that beautiful symmetry on the front panels. Right?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so yeah, I think that's good. I was, like I said, I was up in Annapolis today and I got home and I haven't even fed my family.
Oh,
So I can certainly transfer host status to someone else if they want to stay on. Or I can cut you guys free.
I'm okay to be cut free.
I am too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Snuggle with my kitty cat.
Yeah, it's been a long day for everybody, I think.
Thank you,
Okay,
Ellen, again.
Happy knitting. We'll see you
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.